In 2022, there was an enigmatic series that wove in elements of horror and sci-fi. It was on Epix and it was called From. Well, Epix is now MGM Plus, and From is back with season 2. It's a weekly release, and I've watched the first 2 episodes. So, do we get some answers to what the heck was going on in that town? Hidden truths about the nature and terrifying origins of the town begin to emerge, even as life for its residents is plunged into chaos by the arrival of mysterious newcomers. So season 2 pretty much picks up right where season 1 left off. Boyd is stuck in a stone chimney type thing with seemingly no way out. Tabitha had fallen through a massive hole in her house, landing in some creepy and foreboding tunnel system. And then Jim and a lot of the other residents were up at the big house trying to establish contact with somebody outside of the town's borders. And while all this is going on, a bus starts to roll into town. And we all know what's going to happen next. So I really like the huge complication and mystery that's created by this passenger's bus showing up all of a sudden. It's got a bunch of people on it, and the sun is about to go down. So the interactions between the passengers and the townsfolk, it becomes frustrating and chaotic because, as is the case with most shows and movies, the characters, they can't actually communicate in a clear way, leading to all sorts of confusion and then terror. Now, because this is a weekly series, I approached the first 2 episodes that I watched with the mentality of whether or not I'd be satisfied with the info that's presented in each one, as if I were watching them one per week. Now, the truth is, no, I wasn't satisfied with episode 1. I mean, yeah, it does continue the mystery, and it's a tense episode filled with danger and peril and heightened emotions. But instead of giving us just even a tiny clue as to what's been going on, new mysterious elements are introduced. I mean, if this keeps it up, it's really going to feel like the show has no clue where it's headed. So in the absence of answers, they just keep inserting new freaky and weird ideas in hopes that we're going to stay engaged. Now, something the series was able to do very well in the first season, and it continues here, is with the character dynamics and the complications. We continue to get a bit of insight into our characters, slowly building them out as the episodes progress. But we also get to learn small bits about the new passengers as well. The show also has returned to place more focus on the night people who want to devour just anybody who's outside after dark, and we see a lot more of them. Now, while we don't see the violence that they incur outright, we do see the effects after the sun comes up. The show also uses action off-screen with screams and shouts of terror to help paint a vivid picture in our minds of what could be happening when somebody encounters the night people. And I'm calling them the night people because I'm still not really sure what they are. I mean, they might be vampires. It does make sense because they only come out once the sun goes down, and they also appear to have a viciously sharp mouthful of teeth. But so far, there's been no confirmation one way or the other on what they are, so I'm going with night people. But the sound design, it is very effective in creating a spooky and ominous atmosphere, especially as we can hear those tortured wails permeating the air as people are devoured. Now, I also appreciate when characters are in precarious situations and they have to remain absolutely silent. We can hear the gasping and the wheezing of their breath. They're doing their best to stay hidden and unnoticed. And the production amps up these effects a little to add dread and anxiety, and it accomplishes it. Now, I still like that the show isn't afraid to put the characters into peril, or even kill some of them off. It definitely makes getting attached to any of them risky, but it also makes the story more compelling and engaging. And because there are so many characters in this show, we don't know a ton about any of them. But I think there are some that have been crafted to be sympathetic or even endearing just so that we can get emotionally attached before they meet their demise. But there are also those characters who are designed to be the unlikable ones, where we wish bad things on them. And in the first episode, a couple more have been shown to us, which always makes for fun storytelling because sometimes the monsters inside are way worse than the ones outside the door. So for me, if I were watching just episode 1, I don't think I'd be wholly satisfied. It's great to be back in this world and all of its horrifying mystery, but the episode does feel like just more of what we've already seen, rather than pushing the story forward. I think the show has a lot of potential, and watching the first 2 together, it was more satisfying. But like I said before, I really hope we get at least some small answers or clues as to what's going on and why the people are trapped there, so that it instills confidence that the showrunners actually have a plan. Harold Perrineau and Scott McCord, they continue to be some of the standouts in this, along with Elizabeth Saunders, Chloe Van Landschoot, and Ricky He. And with some new additions like Kaelen Ohm and Nathan D. Simmons, the cast is well-rounded and it's poised for drama. So here's hoping it can deliver on the large amount of mystery that it is building. There's no sex or nudity, but there is profanity and a lot of violent imagery. Now, I'm going to hold off on giving this a score until the full season is out, but I am engaged with the show, and I can't wait to see what answers are revealed. So are you enjoying the show? What are your theories on why everybody is stuck? And then, what are the night people? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.